in North Dallas, or even worse, Richardson. And that's not the only short-term issue that requires a deep, hard look, because if the proposed rerouting of I-30 also occurs, there's another burgeoning community that will be directly affected by it. And it's the subject
Dallas,
of our
Texas, the fastest growing city in the nation. Great for jobs, economic security, heat stroke. But apart from the obvious virtues, Dallas, like many other big cities in the nation, is surprisingly great for camping. You wouldn't expect this, but Dallas is quite the up-and-coming hotspot for year-long campers, or as some like to call them, tent people, or as they're more accurately referred to, homeless people the government would rather ignore as long as they stay out of sight. Democracy. Or maybe that's the smell of human shit next to where these people sleep. I don't know, I've been sick all week and can't really smell anything. Luckily for the people living in this tent city that is literally within walking distance of us right now, a city work crew comes in to clean up the trash and human shit once a week. Fortunately for the residents there, they receive advance notice, so, you know, they can move their tents out of the way before the work crew comes in and Fahrenheit 451's the place. Or more accurately, Who Framed Roger Rabbit's the place with some acidic dip to make room for a freeway, which is a bit more accurate considering the tent city in question is underneath I-45 where it comes into I-30. And much like Dr. Doom's approach to Toontown and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I think the city government would much rather ignore this problem than have to take it actually seriously. I know I would if this was my city. Which is pretty funny considering that not many people claim Dallas as their city, considering that only 6% of the population showed up to vote in this last election. Which I guess makes sense if you have an out-of-state license and an expired passport, even if you have a Dallas address, because the voter laws in Texas are set up in such a way where you have to have a special voter identification card to actually show up. And then when you show up to the voting place on the election day, the lady behind the counter says, there's absolutely no way you can vote in this election without having this stuff. So you go out to Google your rights, and then like 10 minutes later, she rushes out and says, oh, by the way, you can totally just vote on this provisional ballot and deal with the rest of it later. Or some other entirely hypothetical situation. But I think it's time for the people of Dallas to start investing in Dallas and all that it has to offer. Which is why I went to the tent city to interview the residents there to get them to sell me on their swell setups. However, when I drove by there, twice, both times I was way too scared to actually get out of the car. Because the entitled middle-class white American thing that got me in the car in the first place to go interview real people for a fake news show to make novelty of their tragedy could only go so far. Because when I got there were people doing drug deals on the street or passed out on moldy couches or just on the floor next to trash. Which is a problem, because clearly people don't realize what great properties these really are. Because inside this gated community with a hole in the fence that you can crawl through is a kind of humble getaway that many people in Dallas so much crave. This quiet camping village where you can leave the buzz of city life. And everywhere is your backyard or toilet, depending on how you use it. And everyone's stray dog is your stray dog. And for those of you bohemian types in the audience that like to smoke a little dope and make your vinyl sound better, you don't have to worry about the man coming in and killing your high, because this is the last place cops would actually go. And seriously, don't bring your vinyl like anything you care about, because it'll probably get stolen. However, these residencies feature high concrete ceilings, so you don't have to worry about a buildup of smoke from your trash can fires or crack pipes. Need a needle? It's right under your nose. Or more accurately, sticking out of your foot. With quality apartments being increasingly harder to come by in Dallas, it's time to act now before all of these properties fill up. Or more accurately, before the city of Dallas kicks them out to make room for a fucking Chipotle or something. Which raises the question of what do you actually do with these people once you kick them out? If only there was a precedent like, say, I don't know, New York in the 90s when they had a bunch of homeless people living in the abandoned subway tunnels where they partnered with Amtrak to give them all houses and jobs. But that's entirely idealistic, except of course for when you consider that it costs half as much to give these people homes as it does to leave them on the street. We gather our collective courage and go brush this neighborhood with a little bit of whitewash. Because let's get real, the city of Dallas is only going to take your tent city seriously if it's full of a bunch of middle-class white people, as evidenced by the last major tent city near downtown during the 1984 Republican National Convention, where a group of 1,000 or so hippies got together to protest Reagan and women's rights and a bunch of loosely related issues because everyone really just wanted to build a tent city. This tent city featured a large tent in the middle funded by private donors and churches specifically for dining, as well as city-funded running water, showers, public bathrooms, paid telephones, running electricity, and a paved road. So really it was just like camping with your friend whose dad has like a really cool RV and like lots of really cool fishing equipment and a badass grill that you totally wish your dad had. But like, it's okay because you just really need to feel grateful for the stuff you have, accept nice things when they come. It's important.
So if I haven't sold you
yet on this up-and-coming Dallas neighborhood, go swing by and check it out yourself. Just, you know, don't go at night. And bring a friend. And really, if you bring a friend, make sure you have someone else that knows where you are and what the safe word is in case you get in a hostage situation. And really, your friend should be a police officer. And for the love of God, leave your wallet in your car. Starting to smell like democracy again. No, that's just the shit no one wants to talk about. Well, I've assuaged my white guilt. I'm gonna go drink some more and pretend the world is a happy place. Josh?
Thank you, Stephen.
Or maybe that's the smell of human shit next to where these people sleep. I don't know, I've been sick all week and can't really smell it. And then to clean up the trash with human shit once a week. Fortunately for the residents there, they receive advance notice, so, you know, they can move their tents out of the way before the work crew comes in and Fahrenheit 451's the place. Or more accurately, who framed Roger Rabbit's the place with some acidic dip to make room for a freeway, which is a bit more accurate considering the tent city in question is underneath I-45 where it comes into I-30. And much like Dr. Doom's approach to Toontown and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I think the city government would much rather ignore this problem than have to take it actually seriously. I know I would if this was my city. Which is pretty funny considering that not many people claim Dallas is a highly hypothetical situation. But I think it's time for the people of Dallas to start investing in Dallas and all that it has to offer. Which is why I went to the tent city to interview the residents there to get them to sell me on their swell setups. However, when I drove by there, mine will sound better. You don't have to worry about the man coming in and killing your hide because this mine won't like anything you care about because it's probably get sold. However, these residencies feature high concrete ceilings, so you don't have to worry about it. neighborhood with a little bit of whitewash. Because